As my dad said best once upon a time, about week 11, and for week 12 in college for that matter, it ain't the fact that I don't know, it's the fact I don't want to know. And in this case, I truly don't. Oy, let's go.
I can't do
Please.
it. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Mister, will you please wake up? Wake up.
Hang on a second.
Good morning, Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
I don't know. I just don't know. Oh, yeah! What the hell was that? What was week 11? What was that? Especially
Week 11 was math is important, people. We talk about how education is going down. Math is important, people. Math. I don't understand how many coaches do not understand math in current day football. You had
excuse me, try again. Good morning. Speeding through it because my voice is about to go. Welcome to the Manic Monday edition of Snowman in the Morning, the Math is Important edition of Snowman in the Morning. I'm just gonna give you the floor. Go for it.
Yesterday, the Giants in the third quarter of the game, down by 6.
Down 6, y'all.
Down 6. Fourth down inside the 20-yard line. Kick a field goal. Guess what? You're down by 3. The next time you get the ball back,
you could tie it or take the lead.
You can tie the game with a field goal. The Miami Dolphins, it started in Spain.
Yes, it started.
The Miami Dolphins, with a minute left in the game, 4th and 3 at the fourth and goal at the 3-yard line. Mm-hmm. With a minute left, the Redskins had no timeouts left. Kick a field goal. The game is over.
Take note of that, folks. The Redskins had no timeouts. Call it the 3.
And instead, they run the ball up the middle and get stuffed. Mm-hmm. The game goes to overtime, and lucky for them, Marcus Mariota throws an interception. But what the hell are we doing? Like, kick the field goal, kick off, and stop them. All you had to do was stop them from getting 40 yards. And if you can't stop a team from getting 40 yards, and the Redskins damn that well almost pulled it off.
You know, well, first of all, I didn't even watch the game in Spain because it was 9:30 in the morning. I was dead tired. I was sore, and I just didn't feel like getting up.
But also from the weekend, we counted. We were actually counting all of the games that we were watching.
Yep.
8 missed extra points. On just Sunday. 8 extra points missed.
And it prompted a comment from you saying college football kickers have made it to the NFL.
I mean, it was always a joke. It was always a joke between me and, God bless his soul, me and my buddy Gino. It was always a joke. Every time a college kicker came out, we were like, "Oh, college kicker, it's gonna go left." I mean,
and what always happened? Because I remember these conversations you used to have when we first met. What happened? What happened?
What happened to kicking? Like, what happened to the Adam Vinatieri's of the world that they walked out there and you just knew, like, it was automatic. It was automatic. Like, all right, he's in. It's gonna be good. Like,
it's like, all right. I'll use my team as an example. Between the 80s and the 90s, the 49ers had 2 kickers that were automatic. The third one, the one in the middle, not so much. The ones that were automatic were Ray Wershing throughout the 80s, and in the 90s, it was Doug Bryan. In the middle came a fellow, and I can't stand him to this day, but I love him also because he was a part of the team. Came a fellow named Mike Kofer. And I remember the nickname that a friend of mine, who's also a 49er fan, and my late father repeated. Ofer Kofer. Apropos, isn't it? Apropos, isn't it? And that was, and we didn't see Ofer Kofer until the Giants beat our asses and walked off with a field goal in the 1990 NFC Championship game. And that's when all hell broke loose with that. But what has happened to kicking? What has happened to kicking in the NFL? What has happened to the Adam Vinatieri's, the Ray Wershings, the Kevin Butlers? Victor, I know you love Paul Anninger, but fuck Paul Anninger. Yes, we're going.
I mean, it's in Dallas. I'll apologize. It's in Dallas right now with Brandon Aubrey is as automatic as you can get for a kicker right now.
I'm sorry for that F-bomb. That'll be the last one any of us will say today. That slip. I am sorry about that. But yeah, Brandon Aubrey is the most automatic kicker in the NFL that you have right now. No one else. Not even.
You also got Cam. You got Cam Little down in Jacksonville as well.
Who?
Cam Little, the guy who drilled a 70 during preseason.
Big leg.
Cam.
I don't know about accurate. I don't know how accurate he is. I know he can kick a 70-yarder if he needs to.
What's the record's broken now, isn't it? What is 68 now?
Yes.
68 field goal, and Cam Little. Okay. So the Dolphins won in overtime to start Sunday. The Bills hang 44 on the Buccaneers. Somehow, some way, the Carolina Panthers won. That's all I can say. Minus a running game, they won. Somehow, speaking of kickers, the Bears walked off, which makes my mother dance in heaven happy.
I mean, it started in Spain and it ended in Philadelphia with this fourth down. Fourth down, you're in field goal range. How many times I mean, everybody praises the head coach there in Detroit.
Dan Campbell.
Yeah, Dan Campbell. Oh, he goes for it on fourth down. Yeah, he went for it 3 times on fourth down,
Way
and you
too
know what they
many
were? 0 for 3 on going for it on fourth. How'd that work out for it? If you had taken the field goal on all 3 of those drives, guess what? You win the
It was
game.
awful.
I mean, your defense is stopping them. Why? Your defense was stopping Philadelphia all night. Why not take points when you can get them? Pin them deep, and pin them deep. You don't have to go for it fourth down on your 50-yard line. Punt the ball, pin them deep. You probably get the ball back in the same spot you just had it.
Because Philadelphia was not moving the ball last night at all.
Yeah,
at all.
They were struggling to get open on the defense. Like, I understand. People say, "Oh, trust." Yeah, punt the ball. Trust your defense to pin them deep, and you get punting. It's not a bad play. I mean, the great Herm Edwards always said, "If our drive ends with a kick, it's okay."
It's okay. Yeah. Why don't coaches take that philosophy anymore? Why?
It's this new. It's everything in sports. We could talk football. We could talk baseball. It's the analytics. The analytics say. Think about the analytics say the sack bunt is not a good play. Well, the sack bunt moves your runner over. If you're in a 1-run game and you sacrifice bunt and you get a run home, like. It should be about scoring, not about what the analytics say. It's how you score point. Put points on the board.
I hate analytics. It's so bad now that let me do this. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna roll with it right here. It's so bad now that you have the networks during a broadcast bring up analytics and determine, I'll use football as an example, whether you should go for it or not. That 4-letter network has now become notorious for that. Notorious.
I mean, going for it on fourth down is, hey, we're this close. I mean, last night you saw, we saw the Detroit Lions. They're the first team I've seen stop the tush push on a fourth down play.
The only other team I've seen,
and I mean consistently, they consistently stopped it.
They did.
They stopped it twice, back to back tush pushes were stopped.
And yet they didn't take advantage of that.
No, and I mean, there's times to go for it on fourth down. There's times, like everything, there's a place and time.
There is.
But when you're just going for it on every fourth down, you're not coaching the game.
You're letting analytics coach. You're letting analytics coach the game. You're letting analytics coach the game. And by the way, I'm gonna have a little fun with Shane to open an argument, because this may wind up being an express episode. I'm still dealing with equipment problems here in the main station. I can't even do it without laughing, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Shane, those uniforms on Thursday, they were gray. Just deal with it.
They were storm blue.
Ain't no way.
They were storm blue. And they looked good in winning.
Look, if it was a storm blue, you'd go back to 1994. That's storm blue. And it was, God. And it was actually blue.
Look, all I care about is we got the dub in the uniforms. That's all that matters.
But yeah, true. Yeah, true. And you
It could have
did.
been worse. It could have been worse. Our design could have been from Arizona.
Oh dear God.
Or you could have been the Giants in classic. What are we doing fashion?
They
The
wear white
Giants
at home.
wearing white at home,
At home.
with sweatshirts that say "Go Big Blue."
Mm-hmm.
Like I said in the chat, somebody didn't get the memo. That hey, we're wearing white
No,
today.
they didn't.
Okay, then. Never
Yep.
mind. Look, it's I love the fact that the Giants, for the third time this year, went old school with their end zones and stuff like that. But have the uniforms to match, because they wore the old school blue against us 2 weeks ago, rather. And they went white at home. That's what woke me up. That's your statement, Chris, was what woke me up or put me in consciousness finally. When you said, what the hell are the Giants doing wearing white at home? Didn't you say something like in classic Giants fashion and something like that?
I said classic. I said classic Giants. They're wearing white, but all their coaching staff had sweatshirts that said "Go Big Blue."
Go Big Blue, right? Really?
If you're gonna wear those sweatshirts, have blue jerseys. It's not hard.
Again, at least they went with the classic lids. I'll give them that.
They need to keep those. They need
do.
to keep those that say Giants across the helmet. Okay? They need to keep those style uniforms. Damian Hernandez, it could have been worse. I'm sorry, folks. It could have been worse. The Pats could have had Shador at quarterback. Dear God.
Don't you put that curse on us there, Ricky Bobby. We don't need that.
Listen, what did we say going into the weekend? And I know we're all over the place this morning. The Browns are going to brown. And guess what they did?
They browned.
They lost in the most Browns fashion. A fourth down snap to the tight end.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he not only gets the first down, but he breaks it for a touchdown.
Mark bleeping Andrews.
It was a fitting end to the Art Modell Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it always could have been worse. I mean, it used to always happen to Craig Elo. Now it always happens to Cleveland Browns.
How did Napoleon put it? And we're the Cleveland Browns. Tell me why that game was at 4:00 instead of 1.
Punts.
Because they knew
who was the genius who came up with this?
Because they knew nobody else. They wanted to hide that game as much as they could, and they knew everybody else was going to be watching Chiefs Broncos. Everybody. We had 4 TVs at the bar, and we had the Chiefs Broncos, we had the 49ers Cardinals on, and we had one other game. The Browns and the Ravens didn't get put on until it was 16-16, and the 49ers were up 45-10.
Right.
Right. We didn't even start watching the game until it was 16-16.
The 49ers.
This is one of the games that was one of the games that deserved to be behind a paywall because no one would watch it.
Look, the 49ers game was over thanks to Sky Moore after that 98-yard return. Because I came in here, I helped my wife make dinner. I came in here and I saw 14:44 left on the clock and 7-0. What? Then I went back and saw why. And my wife came in. She says, did y'all score already? I said, yes. And she saw what happened. She says, well, you can come in and watch the Broncos-Chiefs game with me because this game's over. And I did. I did.
But getting back to our analytics and this going for it,
Stupidity.
the going for it thing that we've been talking about. Look, analytics don't account for how people coach and how people play in different situations. When you're ahead by a full touchdown, you play a lot looser, you play a lot different, and you might even play, tight. Just hey, let's try to run some clock, and in that situation, you can make stops.
Yeah.
You can stop people from doing what they've previously been doing, or make people rethink. Hey, when we don't need a touchdown because we're up 7. We can settle here, and you can make that. When you kick a field goal and now it's 4 points, now a touchdown. If the other team scores, they win the game. Teams play tighter. Teams are playing. We have to get a first down, and they make a play that they might throw a riskier play. They might take a risk, and that's when you see guys throw interceptions, guys fumble, guys do random things that they wouldn't do. This is football 101, guys. If you can get it under a touchdown, you can win the game. You're not playing to tie anymore. You're playing to win the game. Another Herm Edwards. You play to win the game.
You beat me to it. You play to win the game. Why don't teams play to win the game anymore? Why do teams depend on freaking analytics to do their job? And yeah, I said it. They rely on analytics to do their job, and it's stupid.
I mean, it's almost a microcosm of society and where we are, because everybody wants it now. Everybody, we want to take the lead now. We have to take. We're down 6. We have to score a touchdown now. It's the third quarter. You don't need a touchdown now. You need points on the board. Get a field goal. You're down by 3. Kick a field goal, and you're down by 3. Then you only need a field goal. Count on your defense to stop somebody. I don't think it's trust in the defense. I think head coaches today are scared of defense. They're scared of their defense. And they say, we need to keep our offense on the field because our defense can't stop anybody.
And there's no trust either. There's no trust in their defense to get a stop. Amy Hernandez with a question. Should the Lions draft a quarterback in the draft, or is Jared Goff still the guy?
They're stuck with Jared. They've backed up the Brinks truck for Jared Goff. They
have no choice. They have no choice in trusting Jared Goff. And here's Genevieve's answer. I think we can blame the chaos of this week on Gambit being in Marvel Rivals now. He literally uses playing cards as weapons. Well, yeah.
Gambit's always used playing cards as weapons.
He's always used that. As long as I've seen the character and ... played the character on the arcade top of X-Men, and I've used Gambit and Wolverine. He's always just playing cards.
I tried running Gambit this weekend. I can't master him yet. I'm still sticking with Moon Knight while I can.
Now, while we're talking football, and we got Jay Spivey here coming on this Express episode in about 10 minutes. What in the blue hell happened in College Station, Texas? Going back to Saturday.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you win by, as long as you win the game.
Well, Texas A&M won 31
What
to 30.
happened is the most historic comeback in the history of college football. I mean, 27 points down.
At the half, which prompted you, Mr. Deeds, who teases all of us, with this, oh, by the way, South Carolina dominating at halftime. I saw that message. I looked up at the score and I went, all right, watch this. And I walked out.
And then bang.
31 to 30.
And you saw all the talk, you know, all the talk is about, oh, there's chaos in the SEC. No, there isn't, because Texas A&M's still undefeated. They're undefeated in the SEC. They're still at the top.
There is no, you know what? I wanted you to. I should have had you lead with this, but there was, well, you had asked the question in our private chat on how we are going to sort the conference standings out, or the conferences out. We're going to do that throughout the course of the week. But I want to start with the SEC while we're thinking about it and while we're on the subject. Why I want to start with the SEC, because you bring up something journalistically. Yes, Rod West, I'm taking a shot at you. And you always bring this up on how it's supposed to be covered and how it's not covered by the big networks. This is one of those times. Texas A&M is still undefeated. There's no chaos in the SEC. None.
The only chaos is who's that second team?
Who's going to face them?
Texas was eliminated.
Yep. Texas is gone.
But they can still play spoiler. They can still play spoiler on Thanksgiving weekend when they play Texas A&M.
When they play Texas A&M.
But all they can do is muddy the water. And we have somebody's going to have to step in and figure out how this works, because you have Ole Miss, Georgia, and Alabama. And Georgia beat Ole Miss. Alabama beat Georgia. Ole Miss didn't play Alabama. Texas A&M doesn't play any of them. So if all four teams have one loss, how are they going to figure it? How are they going to figure this out? This is what I've been talking about since the creation of the playoff, since the creation of these conferences. You have to make the conferences smaller. You have to downsize the conferences.
Agreed.
You have to make it so everybody in a conference plays each other, and then you don't need to do all this stuff. If everybody's played head to head, you don't need to have any of these extra things. You have a game that settled it on the field.
And you have your conference champions, plural, because I know they won't bring back the Big 8 or the Southwest Conference. They do need to shrink the Big 10. I'll tell you that much. Thank you, Penn State, for blowing it up. But if you did have conferences like the Big 8 and the Southwest and the Southwest Conference, I know there's a couple of others that have gone by the wayside and they escaped me. But if you did have the Big 8 and the Southwest Conference, you got two extra champions to pull from, and their championship is decided on the field. Because, as you said, Deeds, and the Southwest Conference I use as an example because they had 8 teams, and they all played each other.
Yeah, once you get above 10, that's why I say 10 is the perfect number. Once you get above 10 teams, every team can't play each other. There's not enough games.
Well, here's the thing, and I started seeing this, and BGS just brought it up in the chat just a moment ago. It's TV money. It's all TV money. That's why the Longhorn Sports Network came into being. The SEC Network came into being, although they got a fun sheet from ESPN, right?
You've got the Big Ten Network. You've got the
Big Ten
ACC Network. All of that.
And the ACC network is about to fall belly is about to go belly up, I think, because the ACC is terrible. But at the same time, the CW has stepped in and taken the bulk of the ACC games away from the ACC network. I know that personally because a good friend of mine is the television voice, Tom Brenneman. It's television money that's funding these conferences, all of them. It's television money that's making this go haywire. Big Ten wanted California. Well, hey, here's another point. The Big Ten wanted California money. Now they have it. Not only do they have California money, they also got Pacific Northwest money, Washington. And then on top of that, you have a pair of teams that used to play in the Pac-12, USC and UCLA, that's playing a Big Ten conference game.
It's also what we've been talking about. It's also what we were just talking about before. It's analytics driving things that they shouldn't be. The analytics say, "Oh, you shouldn't have divisions,
right?
And have the two division winners playing each other. We should just have a whole conference, a whole mess of teams, and have the top two play each other." That's what the analytics say. Well, guess what? It's hard to that's hard to figure out when they don't play. When teams don't play each other, it's hard to figure out.
And it's chaos right now. It's absolute chaos. And speaking of chaos, Dietz wanted to bring up a subject. Where is it? Dog, I told you not to go back in the truck.
I ain't been back in the truck. What are you talking about?
You've been in the truck.
I ain't been in the truck. If I've been in the truck, you'd know my footprint's been in there.
I'd say something else, but that's too easy of a joke for me to make. I cannot find the... Hey, you walked into that joke, okay? Here it is.
Shut up, you white guy. You.
Yeah. Dietz has a bone to pick with our guest. I think it's a good one. Jay Spivey joins us from North Carolina. Good morning, Jay.
What's up, gentlemen?
Now, Dietz, hang tight a minute. I'm going to echo this point that we talked about with the conferences, and BGS brings to us. Local money does not matter anymore, and that's not just with football either. You can throw basketball in the equation, and Jay and I have talked about that so many times over, because the local stations are not paying for the rights anymore. The local stations, I think, stopped paying for the rights after Notre Dame got their mega contract in 1990. And Jay, you and I have talked about this so many times over, and I want your thoughts on this, on how on the TV money and how it's wrecking everything in college sports right now.
Well, this has been, everybody thinks this just started, but in essence, it's been going on for years. Just people that college football wasn't as big then as it was now.
True.
I mean, you look now. I mean, on a given Saturday, pretty much every channel has a college football game on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it didn't used to be like that. It'd be a couple TV networks would have it on. That was pretty much it. Well, now everybody with the ratings that college football gets, and it's clearly the second most popular sport in America. It's not even close.
And the other thing is, it eliminates the simulcast.
True, that's true too.
It eliminates the simulcast because it happened with the NBA when the Bulls split their cast up when they moved from WWE.
If you remember, it hasn't been that long ago where ABC, ESPN, and maybe ESPN2 are kind of split coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously they don't do that anymore. They just show single games.
Yeah.
So that means more ad revenue for all the networks, and it's not
Yep.
just ESPN. It's CBS Sports Network. It's FS1. It's Fox. It's all of them. I mean, Turner's involved in college football now.
Turner's back involved with
Back.
college.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
every ESPN channel's got a game on at any given time on a Saturday. And NBC's on there now. I mean, outside of Notre Dame,
NBC is close to a split network that you can get with NBC and Peacock, but they're showing the same damn game.
Well, it's not just Notre Dame anymore. When they just showed Notre Dame, and they got Big Ten games on there now.
Yeah, which kind of it's still an exclusive contract for Notre Dame with NBC, but now as you said, Jay, you now have Big Ten networks on NBC trying to compete.
Fox and CBS.
Yep, Fox and CBS. So Big Ten split all over the place. Yep.
And I mean, even some of the Notre Dame games have split off into like ABC or ESPN even.
That's only if they're on the road.
That's only that's the ACC. That's the ACC network.
Mm-hmm.
No. Notre Dame is not part of the ACC in football. They just have that stupid deal with the ACC.
No, that's why the road games will be played on ESPN if they're playing an ACC team.
But that has nothing to do with the ACC network.
No, that's a Notre Dame deal. I vote for BGS says I vote for a Deion Sanders NCAA football game. I don't.
Why?
I don't. But eventually it's going to happen. You know, with Deion Sanders, nothing but show business anyway. You know.
Well, we're coming very close to the time where NCAA is going to have no jurisdiction whatsoever over college football. They're just going to have their own entity
because the SEC and the Big Ten are making it such.
Well, they're basically going to have their own. They're going to basically have their own league.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
what
they're working on it now.
I mean, if you look right now, if you did the college football playoff just off last week's ranking, you're gonna have eight of the 12 from one conference.
Yep.
From two conferences.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have 5 SEC and 3 Big Ten. And I have no problem with that. And all these people that whine and it shouldn't be 16 teams, it works so much better with 16. And people better get over it anyway. It's going to go to 16 anyway. Everybody knows it is.
And
whether it's next year or 2 years or 3 years, it's going to go to 16.
It'll be sooner than later.
And it's all because of dollar signs.
Mm-hmm. It'll be sooner than later.
And if you expand it, you're probably going to have at least one, if not 2 more SEC teams get in.
Yep.
And the same thing with the Big Ten.
So you make the middle of the road teams in the Big Ten have a chance to get into the playoff anyway because it's all SEC.
This Drek that's down here, the ACC is just an embarrassment of football.
And they're going to have nobody. And they're going to have nobody get in.
Well, they don't. They were talking on the ACC network on Saturday night that they might get 2 in. They're not getting 2 in.
They're not getting anybody in. The ACC is not getting anybody in. And I hate saying that because I'm a fan of Georgia Tech and what they're doing this year.
This goes back to our discussion before of these teams not playing each other. Miami is the highest ranked ACC team, and they're 4th in the conference. They won't even make their they have they have like a 0.5% chance of making the ACC championship game.
Oh, yeah.
And they're the highest ranked team in the conference.
Figure that out. Highest ranked team in the conference, and they're not going to play in their
because they lose games every year. They should win every year.
Mm-hmm. Louisville.
What a fraud they've been the last couple weeks.
Louisville, anybody?
Louisville's a fraud.
Mm-hmm. They proved that after beating Miami. They went and laid an egg. 2 eggs.
The conference is a joke.
It is. It is.
I mean, I just saw Wake Carolina in person on Saturday night. I mean, Carolina is really bad.
Is it that bad?
Really bad. And then the coach. I mean, I got respect for Belichick and what he's done, but he is a prick. After the game was over.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Jay. I was watching that game here at home, and
if anybody
that-
sees Maddox to be himself, why do you call a timeout with 5 seconds to go? Of course, Wake was going to knee the ball, and he called timeout. Well, I said, watch, they're going to try to score now. And sure enough, he did. I don't blame the Wake coach for doing it.
I don't.
Yeah, you pissed. He pissed the Wake Forest coach clean off. So of course they're going to run one in and say, "Hey, Belichick, screw you."
That's exactly. I would have scored too. Wake was clearly going to knee the ball, and he calls timeout with 5 seconds to go.
Let me get you gents' thoughts on this comment here from the master teacher himself. Since it's about money, just split the playoff divisions. Smaller teams play their own playoffs. Let me start with Jay. Your thoughts on that?
No, that won't work.
Because
the smaller you're still going to get some bias there, and teams that don't deserve to be in. That won't work. I don't. The one thing I don't like about the way it's done now is that why we need a committee to figure this out.
True.
And all these stupid analytics things that they look at. How about you use your own eyes?
Didn't you say it earlier?
Granted, I don't look at every game all the way through from start to finish, but I use my eyes. I can tell who's the best team.
Same.
In my opinion, the team, like you were just talking about the ACC. Now, in my opinion, even though they didn't play well this past Saturday and got lucky to win, the best team, in my opinion, on the field is Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. Yep.
Now, they might not have the most talent. Miami probably has the most talent. But that on the field, that's a whole other issue.
And then Georgia Tech beat Miami on a walk-off.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech beat Miami on a walk-off. So there's that.
And this is, I mean, this shows you that I don't really have a bias. Wake, I'll fully admit I'm a Wake Forest fan. But they got robbed when they gave Georgia Tech that game because he was so far offside in September. When the ACC officials were gutless and didn't call it. And they still say that they didn't see he was offside when everybody in the world saw he was offside.
Well, he was way offside.
Well, again, admit your mistake. Whether it affected the game or not, and it clearly did. Admit you made a mistake.
Which they won't.
But to get back to your point, I don't think the smaller divisions will work.
It's going back to the original analytic. And take the original analytic. Win the football game. Who did you beat and when did it not stop this? When did you beat them? When did you lose? No, did you play and did you win the game? That's it.
I want to see the ACC, despite their lip service, I want to see the ACC take football more seriously. Because they always talk about it being a basketball conference. Well, when's the last time they won a national championship basketball?
17.
So you don't know nobody knows
17.
Virginia.
Virginia. No, 19.
Exactly.
Virginia.
It's been a good while ago. So take football more seriously. Even these teams that are struggling in football right now have decided to put more money into it. But the ACC won't do that.
Here's a question, and I'll pose this to the panel. Should college football follow a soccer model about tiered leagues? I don't think it'll fly, but
I don't think
should it come on the final?
In theory, it would probably work, but there's no way that'll pass. There's no way.
Because a lot of the schools would be complaining about what tier they're in.
True.
They would complain about what tier they're in. Let's look at that. Let's look at that model. SEC and Big Ten are up here. You got maybe the Big 12 below them, and then you got the ACC at the bottom of the barrel.
Not even close.
And who only knows if the Pac-12 will make a reappearance?
They are, but not with the teams they got bringing in next year.
So
not with the teams that are coming in that conference next year? No.
So how long would it be before schools start complaining about being in what tier? And if they start complaining, if I were the commissioner of this whole thing, I said, look, play better teams and beat them.
And it's all going to come down to money, like everything else. It's all going to come down to money.
Speaking of money, Deets had a question for you about the quote-unquote Champions Classic And none of the recent national champions are playing in that thing.
It's always the same, basically the same 4 teams every year.
Kansas,
That's what we were talking
Kentucky.
about a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
The same
It's
4
Kansas, Kentucky, Duke, and
teams.
Michigan State every year.
And I did the math on it. I did the math on this. In the last 10 years, the Champions Classic has 1 champion.
Kansas. 2022. Kansas.
It's
In the
pretty much
last
always
20
the same
years,
4
they
teams
have
every year.
5 championships in there. In 20 years. Come on.
Or at least
Can't
they
call it a
actually try to play
Champions
legit
Classic.
teams.
Go ahead, Jay.
Is at least not just that tournament. Well, not tournament, showcase. Is trying. Those teams are trying to play legit teams. Some of these teams, their schedules are a joke.
Yeah, because they load up on cupcake teams early in the year.
I saw one yesterday in person.
That's why they
yesterday in person.
Who'd you see?
I saw Wake Forest against UMass Lowell in person yesterday.
UMass Lowell.
Yeah, you heard me right. UMass Lowell.
UMass Lowell is playing Wake Forest.
Yes.
Now
they are D1.
At Lawrence Joel.
You guys correct.
At Lawrence Joel.
And it was a 3-point and dunkathon.
You know what? I'm going to expose a story here. When I got started with covering college basketballs, I was at Chicago State, and they had just turned D1. So what do you think they were doing? They were taking all of the high D1 games they could, even in the area, Illinois, UIC, Western Illinois. And what do you think was going on? They were getting pounded.
They didn't care. It's all about getting that paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
They want that paycheck.
They were getting pounded. They were getting absolutely pounded. And we still see it today.
Well, I'm not trying to make light of this, but I'm going to say this anyway, because we speak it real on here for the most part.
Yes, we do.
I understand they're in a terrible financial constraint, and I'm sorry to hear that because it shouldn't be that way.
Mm-hmm.
But these poor HBCUs, whether it be football or basketball, they go down looking for the biggest check they can get to support their athletic program, and they're sacrificial lambs in these games.
Mm-hmm.
They have no business being on the same quarter field with some of these teams.
Yeah,
it's just sad
North Carolina
to see it,
Central.
but I don't blame them for doing it. But they have to get these paychecks, or else
they do.
Their athletic programs can't be supported.
They go belly up.
Well, but it's also a bravado thing, and it's going back to, I know Jay is going to know this very well. Everybody thinks they're going to be Appalachian State at the Big House.
Yeah, that started a trend. That's true.
That started it, and then later on, you had Howard beating UNLV, and Howard was a 41-point underdog, and I want to say that was 18 when that happened. I'm gonna say that was 2018 when that happened. But Appalachian State, doggone it, as you said, Deed, started the trend.
And thank you both for saying that word correctly.
Appalachian.
Thank you. I was sick of people saying Appalachian.
It's not Appalachian. It's Appalachian.
Well, I went to school there. Nobody up there, not a single soul, student or professor, said Appalachian.
Appalachian.
It's just total ignorance.
That's not the way I was taught. That is not the way I was taught. There you go. Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air. But it's Appalachian.
Thank you.
Everybody thinks they're going to. There's a reason why that game is so iconic. It's because it's the rarest of rarities.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually, if it's not a 40-point blowout, right, everybody's like, wow, they didn't blow them out. Right. They didn't score 40 on them.
Right.
Like, that's the norm. That's the norm in those games. It's very rare. So you're not getting the you might be getting paid, but you're not getting the exposure that you think you're getting.
I think this kind of game, with the way NIL is, I think at the lower level of D1 football you might see it, but I don't think with like these bigger schools like Michigan, it's going to be hard for these FCS teams to beat teams like Michigan in the future. Because like the better players at the FCS level are eventually going to transfer to D1, upper level D1 team.
It's not the reverse as we saw once upon a time, where the
Right.
upper D1 are transferring to the FCS.
Right.
It's the reverse now.
They're poaching people left to right.
Mm-hmm.
They just are.
And then there's the thing we like to call a transfer portal.
I just wish they would keep these. First of all, I don't like that. Even though they've changed the date till early January, I don't like. Just wait after the national championship is over. But no, they don't want to do that. But I wish they would at least make these kids stay at a school for 2 years. Whether you transfer or not, I wish you had to stay 2 years.
Yeah, high school recruiting has been completely devolved.
Blown up. It's blown up. It's blown up.
It's no longer, hey, let's recruit the best seniors in college or in high school. It's, hey, let's go recruit the best freshmen from a D1 AA school. Let's go scout. They're scouting other college teams and saying, hey, come transfer. You could be our starting quarterback next year.
And to go along with that, I do a lot of high school athletics. It's becoming harder and harder and harder for high school seniors to get looks at in college, no matter what sport it is.
It is
because they're all going to the transfer portal to see who they can get.
And it's horrible that the transfer portal is so what is the word I'm looking for? Cluttered. It's cluttered and it's scattered with students from 1AA and other D1 colleges, and then you factor the NIL into play, and you get, in essence, Colorado.
Yes.
You get Colorado.
And what a mess that is.
You get Coach Prime recruiting players when their quarterback that they leaned on for 2 years is already gone.
And how'd that work out for Cleveland yesterday? I mean,
I hate to all these people that have come after me about my comments about Shedeur Sanders. I just have one statement, and I'll let y'all complete it. I hate to be an I told you so, but I told you so.
He's not ready.
And was not ready when he stepped on the field at Colorado 2 years ago.
They admitted after the game was over yesterday he had not taken a single snap with the first team offense.
With the first team. Yeah, how'd that look?
He was totally overmatched yesterday. And again, I go back because of that stupid contract they gave to Deshaun Watson.
Oh my gosh.
It's just looking worse and worse every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they have all these quarterbacks, yet have no quarterback.
Well, Jay has talked about this for years on this program, been way ahead of it. The quarterback position is coached so horribly at all levels.
Mm-hmm.
All levels. And Shedeur Sanders is the product of that style of coach. He has not been coached where to throw the ball. He has been coached, make a play.
Well, not only that, there was no reason for Cleveland to draft him. They didn't need a quarterback, even though they have no quarterback. And he's certainly not the quarterback they need. And yet we got all these quarterbacks coming out in the draft this year. Colorado will be 6 or 7 in the first 2 rounds of the draft.
Yep.
And I'm sure they'll draft another quarterback, and that keeps setting them further and further back.
Mm-hmm.
They're a joke. Cleveland's a joke.
And will forever be a joke until they blow up the front office.
They have not had a legit quarterback since they came back in the league in 99.
Nope. And it all started downhill with Tim bleeping Couch.
Tim Couch.
It all started with Tim bleeping Couch.
They've had, I can't remember the exact number. It's in the 20s. How many quarterbacks they've had in the last 26 years?
40
Oh, so okay. Yeah, that's right.
This is for Victor, who's a big Lewis Black fan. 42.
You're not going to win that way.
No,
you're just not going to win that way.
The closest they've had to a quarterback since they've been back was Tommy Maddox. And what happened? He gets success in 2002, leads them to the playoffs, and then the next year he gets blown to hell. He's blown to smithereens with an injury.
Despite it being the worst coach position in all the sports, it's the most important position in all the sports. You have to have a quarterback. You're not going to win.
Mike Francesa said it best a long time ago. You have to have a quarterback to play on a team in the National Football League. In the National Football League, you have to have a quarterback. If you go out there and you don't have a quarterback, you are not going to win.
Exactly.
Exactly. We've seen teams draft quarterbacks that have not been ready.
Yes.
But this goes to football 101. People will watch and go, "Oh, he completed so and so passes, or he completed this." It's not about completing the pass. It's where did you complete the pass? Did you lead the receiver, or did the receiver make a ridiculous catch because you threw the ball 5 feet over his head or at his shoelaces?
Here's another football.
Analytics doesn't tell you that.
Here's another football 101, and all of us have talked about this. Victor with us, BGS with us, Damian Hernandez with us. It's one of the most basic things about Deets. I'm going to mute you for a minute because we're getting buzzing again, so stand by with that. It's the most basic thing. If you are seeing 3rd and 5, y'all know the next part of the question. Why are you throwing it short of the sticks?
Why? Well, yeah, that's a great question. And then to go along with that, why keep doing this anyway? Because Detroit went 0 for 5 on 4th down conversions last night.
Yep. Goose egg. Deets has a thought. Deets, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying that it's not even just why do you throw that? Why is your receiver running a route that doesn't get you to the sticks?
That is something that John Madden used to talk about all the time.
How many times
you go to the marker? Probably you go 1 or 2 yards above where the marker, and you just stick right there.
Mm-hmm.
And you turn around toward the quarterback.
You only making an emergency comeback if you see him in trouble and you see him scrambling. But if he leads you down the field, he's going to lead you beyond. A good quarterback, a good, properly coached quarterback, is going to lead you beyond the sticks anyway.
Exactly.
He's going to lead you beyond. He's going to lead you beyond the sticks anyway. It's the most horribly coached position in football at all levels. Jay and I have covered high school together down in North Carolina. I've done it in Chicago for 25 years. It gets worse and worse and worse. Okay? It's worse. It gets worse. And they're not being coached on, and Jay said this when the whole Shedeur Sanders thing was trying to blow up in our face. Thank God it didn't, because we got proven right yesterday. We got proven right at Colorado for 2 years. They don't coach. What's the F word I'm looking for? The fundamentals.
Well, a lot of it's laziness.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to tell a quarterback to run the ball instead of learning how to throw and learning how to find routes that the receivers are doing. There's so many intricacies to playing quarterback that a lot of them don't teach.
Yeah, ball goes bent at Caleb Williams. You've been nothing but lucky.
There are a lot of bad quarterbacks in NFL right now.
Mm-hmm. Horrible.
A lot of starting quarterbacks are bad.
And they're not all, and thank God they're not all in Cleveland, but they're all over the place.
well, Cleveland's got 8,000 quarterbacks and yet has no quarterback.
None. Go ahead, Deets. Deets, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
There we go. Well, you can see this. And if you watch people play, and I know people are going to say it's a video game, but follow me on this. If you watch any videos on YouTube of people playing college football 26,
Yep.
okay, just watch them play. And I've done this for a few channels. I always watch them because I think they're fun. I think it's just funny to watch. But you watch them play the game, and you watch them. Oh, I have this route going. They're not even talking about. Oh, if the linebacker comes up, I'm going to throw it early. No, they just run around until. Oh, that guy's wide open. I'm going to throw it to him, or
Yep.
I'm going to throw it up to this guy and hope that he makes a play. I'm like, that's not how you play You play quarterback by. If the linebacker blitzes, I'm throwing to the slot receiver. If he drops back, I'm hitting the split end on a drag underneath. You get so much out of it. And I know people are going to say it's a video game, but you can just see. Like I watch these guys play, and I go, throw it to Y right now. Well, I'm like, right at the start of the play, I'm like, Y is going to be wide open, and then you see him. Oh, I threw it to X because he had his guy beat, and I'm like, no, he didn't. Like it's not even close. But that's how people are playing quarterback at all levels. Is wait for a guy to be wide open, or hey, just throw it up and hope a guy makes a play. Like that's not playing quarterback. Drew Brees did not have the strongest arm that we've ever seen. But he was able to throw the ball to the guy who was open, and he was able to throw the guy open.
Drew Brees was a surgeon. Okay. Here's the other part of it. And I've mentioned this so many times over. Every team, no matter what level, wants to play the West Coast offense when you don't have the bleeping horses to do so. Am I wrong, gentlemen?
No, you're not.
Jay, am I wrong with that statement?
No, not at all.
You want to play a West Coast offense when you ain't got the bleeping horses to do it. I mean, shout to the godfather of the West Coast offense and Bill Walsh, but what did Bill Walsh do to make that West Coast offense so potent? He did two things. One, he got the horses around Joe Montana to do it. And two, the most fundamental thing you can do to help the West Coast offense is three simple words: run the ball.
Well, how about creativity? Because in essence, most of these college and NFL teams run some variation of the same offense.
Yep,
it's all RPOs now.
Yep, it's RPO. It's either RPO or the West Coast offense. Go ahead, Jay.
Some creativity. Don't run the same offense that 1,000 other places run. It's basically the same offense at every level of football now.
It is. And you see it all, the time, and you're wondering, okay, you couldn't do better.
It's just I always say football's a copycat. It's really copycat now.
I'll add this to it. In 2015 was the first time I saw a quarterback clap his hands to get the snap, and it was Cardale Jones from Ohio State. This is for me. That's the first quarterback I saw clap his hands.
Now everybody does it
to get the snap. Thank you, Jay. Now everybody's clapping their hands to get the snap. You don't see it in the NFL, but you see it in college a lot. Everybody's clapping their hands to get the snap. You can hear it more audibly.
Unless you're an elite level quarterback, and there are a few. But for the most part, these quarterbacks look like.
We lose them?
They're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, they are. They're clapping their hands. They're clapping their hands to get the snap.
Yes. But the West Coast, the thing about the West Coast offense, and people that say, "Oh, they're running a West Coast," the West Coast offense was built on levels.
Yep.
It was built on you have one guy taking over the top, you have another guy coming over the middle, and you have another guy as your outlet that is on the opposite side of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the quarterback's job to read whatever guy they're reading, hey, I have a deep route, I have my short route, and I have my safety valve. And it was the quarterback's job to read that. Now it's not about that. It's about, hey, let's get this guy open. Let's get this one guy open. And it's a one read, oh, that guy's not open. Now what do I do?
Well, nobody used to, everybody wanted to run the West Coast offense, but nobody had a Joe Montana or Steve Young or Jerry Rice.
Exactly. They didn't have, I'll say it again. You can plan to run the West Coast offense all you want. It doesn't work if you don't have the weapons. It doesn't work if you don't have the weapons to do it. Which is another thing. They're not. They're scheme. How did Deets put it? They're scheming to get guys open instead of developing the quarterback to do his job.
Right.
They're not developing the quarterback to do his job.
That's why there's such a good quarterback playing, such a dearth of good quarterback play in college football and NFL now.
And it will forever be that way until someone steps up and develops the quarterback to do his job. There are very few quarterbacks in this league. Caleb Williams ain't one of them, so don't you open your mouth, Damian Hernandez. That are developed to do their job, which is to read the play and then act accordingly.
That's my thing is they read it, they see something develop too quickly, and they immediately start running. Mm-hmm. And that's why one of the reasons all these quarterbacks keep getting hurt.
They're running instead of throwing the darn thing.
And then they don't protect themselves by either sliding and or getting out of bounds, so they end up getting hurt.
Mm-hmm. How many quarterbacks have we seen just in the past 3 years get hurt because they didn't freaking slide?
Look at Jaden Daniels because he didn't get down.
And now Jaden Daniels, I believe, has gone the way of RG3.
Well, that's because you run and don't protect yourself.
There will be more on this later in the week. Jay Spivey joining us here on his Monday slot, and I really appreciate you sticking around with us, Jay. Really love you and really appreciate you sticking around. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Appreciate it.
Working on getting a computer here at the home base, folks. So we're gonna do shows like this till I get resituated. Then we'll be back to the full 2 hours, and I'm hoping that soon. So if you can donate via Cash App or via GoFundMe, I'll put the links here before we close out. Really appreciate it. We're gonna get out of here. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move, and always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger, and the Bears have been lucky this season. And so have the Patriots. I'm kidding as I say that.
Hey!
Wow. See you tomorrow. It's in the blood says the NFL has gotten lazy. Ain't that the truth? We'll expand on that tomorrow. And I'll also tell you who the two best running backs are. See you tomorrow.